let's get this started. Hello everyone, my name is Between Paperback Worlds, also known as Karen, and I'm here for my April wrap-up. Now, I read a total of 25 books this month, and let's see what I read. Did I DNF anything? Hold on. So, the first book I read for this month is Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. This book I give a 4.5 stars, and it was really good. It's just hard reading it and knowing that the outcome and him having a happy ending, because this follows Joey, Shannon's sister from Shannon's brother, who was in books 1 and 2. This is following him, and I loved these books, but they were hard to read. I'm collecting my own copies. These I borrowed, and so I only own book 1. So I'm up to book 5 now. I need to read Taming 7 and then the new one coming out. However, I buy books and I keep books for like how much I love them or their rereadability. And I don't know if I would reread books 3 and 4 because they are so much darker, so much worse. He goes through so much more pain, in my opinion, than Shannon. And it's a longer road to happiness than Shannon's. I wouldn't consider these romances like a lot of people do. I would consider them dark contemporary with a high romance element to them. But I really enjoyed it. It was a 4.5 star. And then this is the first one I didn't give a 5 star, but it was still amazing. It's just a hard read. Next, I read Redeeming Six. I read Saving Six in 1 day, and I read Redeeming Six in 2 days. And this one is a big chunker. I have still not rated this book. It is an unrated book for me because it's so deep. I cried hard. And it's just the ups and downs of being on drugs, but it's also about the fact that he has no hope, and you understand why he's done everything. You understand it. You understand the trauma that his parents have inflicted on him and how I despise his mother with a passion. And Darren's not the greatest either, and that pisses me off too. But they're so good. It's just like, oh my goodness, I would never reread this unless I reread only the last like 150 pages. I'm not rereading this book. Then I read A Treacherous Curse by Deanna Raybourn. This I gave 3 stars. I got it from the library, so I don't have it with me. I realized that this series is a good series. People really enjoy it and love it, but I am not going to buy them. So I put my book 1 that I had, I put it on Pengo because it's a good series, but not a series that I want to own, or I'm only going to continue it on at the library, so it will stay there. Then I read Gold by Raven Kennedy. This is book 5 in the Plated Prisoner series, and I only have 1 book left, and I already bought it. I thought I was going to read it in April, but April felt like it went by so fast. Like, I feel like I just filmed one of these for March, and now I'm filming one for April. But I read this. I gave it a 4.5 stars. It was amazing. I thought 3 was like peak, so I gave number 3 5 stars, and I gave number 4 like a 3.5. I was like, uh-oh. But this one was good. But the ending of this one, hey, I might get pissed off because there's a trope I don't like. If you've read Divine Rivals, I believe it's called, book 2, how that book starts, like, I believe that's how this one ended. Like, the 2 main characters, what happens to them. I haven't read Divine Rivals, but I know that there's a plot in there that, a lot of people don't like in books, and I'm hoping it felt like that's how it was going to happen because that's how this book ended. So I gotta read book 6. Next, I read Take Her to Church, which is a indie black romance, and I read it for my Southern Hearts and Sign Kisses episode 3, which I will put over here, or over here, I don't remember. But I read this one, and I read like its companion novel, Say You'll Ride, also, and I gave that one a 4 star. These were good. Obviously I like to Say You'll Ride more. I just felt like Take Her to Church was a little like back and forth, a little toxic in a way. Like, y'all are grown adults. But I'm mainly talking about the female main character because she was annoying me. They're just about romance. And in Sayo Ride, she was in a domestic violence situation. She leaves with her daughter. In the new place that she's in, she meets this guy. And in Take Her to Church, which you should read second, not first, it follows the best friend of the girl from Sayo Ride, her relationship with her best friend's man's brother, I believe. So that's all you gotta know. Next, I listened to One Fell Sweep. I'm listening to the Innkeeper Chronicles via audiobooks, and I only have one more left, so that's probably what I'll also be reading in May. I'm finishing series in May, but this is book 3, I believe, or 3.5. I don't remember, but it was really good. I gave it a 4.5 star, and I just love Ilona Andrews' writing. If you don't know, Ilona Andrews is a husband and wife duo, and I just love their writing so much, and I love their characters and the world building they have. It's so creative. So these are books I would want to own and have forever, like the Hidden Legacy series, which I finished and adore, and the Innkeeper Chronicles series, which I adore. And I'm gonna start Magic Bites soon. I'm still on hold on it for at Libby though, so it's gonna be a while, but I want to start that one as well. After that, I read Sweep of the Blade, which is the next book in the series, and this follows the main character from the whole series, Sister, who we meet in the previous book. And I just love her character. Her character is very interesting because this world is very interesting. It has every creature you could imagine in it. It has every world because there's different dimensions and worlds. And Earth is like a safe zone for creatures of all over the world. And innkeepers keep those safe zones. There's hotels, there's inns all over America that are magically bound and alive. The innkeeper keeps these inns alive. This book follows her sister, who technically is an innkeeper by birth, but married a vampire. And then things awry from that. And she has a whole whirlwind of adventures. She's a single mom, so it's a single mom trope. For anybody who's wondering, I would definitely recommend Ilona Andrews in general. If you love urban fantasy, paranormal romance, all the things. Next, I read Dirty Cravings by Kenya Wright. This is a indie mafia romance series, which I've been reading since like 2021, 2020, I don't know. Finally, she's announced that the last book is coming out because this series, in my opinion, has gone on a little bit too long. I gave book 1 a 5 stars, one of my all-time favorite mafia romance series ever, I guess. Book ones. And I just feel like this series went on for a very long time and it's just keep on going. And these books are thick. And if you know indie books, they look thick and they're even thicker. Like they have so many pages. But I really enjoy this series. I gave this book a 3.5 to a 4. It's good getting back into that world of like book 1. Because book 1 was very like, it was like a mafia, but it also had like a murder mystery serial killer element to it. And then that kind of like passes because things evolve and it's coming back to its roots in these later books, which I'm very excited about. It is a crazy series. Look up trigger warnings because there are some crazy things and bad things that happen to people in these books. So be careful, please. Next, I read Keep You to Myself and Keep Giving Me Love. I gave the first one a 4.5 and the second one a 4. These are by Brienne Dene, and they are, again, part of my Seven Hearts of Sight Kisses series. So if you want to hear my full thoughts on those, you can go to those videos. But these are just like indie romances, indie black romances, and I like them a lot, as you can see from the scoring. But they were great books, and I enjoyed myself with them and my time with them. And I love romance books with couples that communicate. That's one of the biggest things. And that's why I don't read much traditionally published romance anymore. It's because they draw things out too much. Like, and it's so unrealistic in the sense of, I'm supposed to be enjoying the smut in these books. I'm supposed to be enjoying the romance in these books. But y'all act like children. Y'all act like life is, we're immortal and you got all the time in the world to be asking this girl or guy out. Y'all act like y'all are not adults who pay bills and pay taxes and shouldn't just tell each other how y'all feel. You pay taxes, but you can't say I like you. It's a crazy thing to me. So I love communication in books. And I realize in indie in general, the couples communicate like almost immediately. One of my favorite romances of all time is Rafe, where he is like the nanny to her, because she's a single mom, to her twin daughters. And then immediately he's like, I don't know if I could work with you because I am attracted to you. And it goes from there. And a lot of these books, these indie books, don't have third act breakups. They don't have miscommunication due to the relationship. Like, again, outside forces can be third act breakups. Outside forces could be miscommunication. But it's not because y'all don't just talk to each other and just ask each other things. That's the problem. I love these books. They were really good. And she's a little older than him. She's like 26. He's like 22, 23. And I was like, ooh, I don't read much where the woman is older than the guy. And it's really good. Next, I read Dirty Macking. This is like a novella. The Lion and the Mouse series, which had Dirty Cravings in it. This is the old cover. The other cover was the new cover. Follows one of the main characters from the series, Maxwell, him finding his love. However, this book was a bunch of nonsense in my opinion. It was just all over the place and actually nothing happened in it. So I gave it a 3-star. I just felt like it was a bunch of nothing, like a bunch of just like scenes put together, which I guess in a novella can be, but it was just a little too all over the place for me. 3 different people who could have been his love interest. I don't know who is his love interest. I don't know really what's going on. So next I read Dirty Wars on audio because I borrowed the Lion and the Mouse series and she doesn't have a physical copy of Dirty Wars. But I gave this one, I'm trying to look at my notes. I gave this one 4 stars. And again, it's going back to that beginning of the series where it has like the serial killing and the mystery plots and all the things. So it got a 4-star. It was really enjoyable. But again, I do think this series is like not outstanding, it's welcome, but it's starting to get there. The series goes on an up and down trajectory for me. Like there's gonna be 9 books in all, plus the novellas in between. And one of the novellas is over like 400, 500 pages. So come on now. The 9th book is gonna be the final book, she said. So I'm just waiting for that one. Next, I read God Killer, and I had a great time reading this. I would give this like a 4.5 stars. It was really good. I enjoyed it tremendously. I've heard like good and bad reviews on this book, but I really enjoyed this. I will be continuing with this series, obviously. It was very new to me and interesting to me. There's a lot of books out nowadays that have gods in them, and it's mainly Greek mythology, or it's slowly getting more like Norse mythology, which would be like the Lokis and the Thors. Greek is like I'm about to say Hela, or the Zeus, Persephone, Hades, Greek. But this is what I think of when I think of gods of everything, and I really enjoyed how gods are predicted in this. Like they have wars just like all the other gods do. They have emotions and like jealousy and want to be as powerful as possible, like all the other gods and all the other stories do. But there's a god just for lies, and you worship him. There's a God just for farming and you worship her. There's a God just for whatever, secrets, and you worship them. And it's like the more they have worshipers, the more they go stronger. And that kind of reminds me of Heaven's Official Blessing, where the stronger the gods are in that is because of all the followers they have and people who pray for them. And I really enjoyed this book, and I really enjoyed the characters in this book. Actually, there wasn't one character's like POV that I didn't enjoy. It was like, oh, let's just get to the next one. And I think that's a great thing, especially since they were grouped up together for a good majority of the book. That helped a lot, because sometimes when they're so spread out, it's like, of course one of y'all stories is gonna be less interesting than the others. One of y'all's fighting all the time, and one of y'all is just walking through the woods. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I really enjoyed that. Next, I read 5 Broken Blades. And I was very looking forward to this book, and this was like a very anticipated book for me, and I gave it 3 stars. Now again, 3 stars is not a bad rating, but when I was expecting it to be like a 4.5, 5-star, it kind of was a little bit disappointing. I just didn't feel a connection that the characters were supposedly supposed to have towards the end of the book to each other. I also really only cared about like one of the characters' stories. None of the other characters really mattered to me. I think the most interesting story is, what's her name? Sora. Like, her story, I think, is the most interesting. Being bought because you're beautiful to then become the deadliest woman, and using your sister as like the reason you will never run away, you will never leave. It's interesting to me. However, I don't really care about anybody else's story that much. And it was just like, it was very surface level. And book two is already out, and people are saying some very mixed reviews about it. Like, they said the ending was very startling. I'm keeping this book because I was thinking about unhauling it or not, because I was going through my collection, and I'm keeping it so I can finish the series. But I might be getting the series from my stomach just growled. Did you guys hear that? I might be getting the series from the library until I finish it, because it's going to be 3 books, and I hope, and see if I want to buy the rest of them later on down the line. Next, I read Sweep With Me by Alona Angels again. This was a novella in between the main books of the story, and I gave it 3 stars because, again, it's a novella. I don't really rate novellas that high because you could keep it or you could take it. Like, you don't have to read it. And so it's not a very big plot thing. But I do love novellas for the mundane of novellas. I love seeing the characters that I love and enjoy, having a break from all the crazy and just dealing with normal crazy. And my stomach just growled again. Having a good time with each other, doing mundane things. I love that type of stuff. Next, I read The Empress of Time. This is book 2 to the Keeper of Night series, and it's only 2 books, so this is a completed series for me. And I gave it 3 stars. I will be putting both book 1 and book 2 on Pango. The reason these books are so low to me, book 2 is definitely better than book 1. However, I don't like books with unlikable main characters, and this girl is one of those. Is it on purpose? I'm pretty sure it is, absolutely. Do I care that it's on purpose? No, I just don't like it in general. I don't like unlikable characters. She pissed me off so much. And she's better in this book, a lot better in this book. But I was still over her. And I was reading this one, because I gave book 1 2.5 to a 3-star. But I was reading this one to see if I was going to like it enough to keep the series and keep it on my shelf. I don't. So this is going. Next, I read Red Roses and Regrets, again from my Southern Hearts series, and I gave it 5 stars. I think this is the only 5-star I gave out this month, and that's kind of insane to me. I had a great time reading this book. It was so fun, so enjoyable. I loved the characters, had so much drama, and there's like a secret organization in this book, and it's just so good. I love indie black romances, but I also love indie black romances that do something a little different. Like, I'm seeing a lot more black mafia books, which I am very much loving. However, I don't want them to get into that same rut as regular traditionally published or regular mafia white romances where everybody does it. So 90% of them are the same. And this one took it on its head. It's like a secret organization type thing. It's very interesting. And for the Southern Hearts and Silent Kisses videos, I read 1, maybe 2 books for each author, and I keep on moving. But I started to only do 1 because it was going to take me longer if I did 2. And I read book 2 of this, which is called Owo or Awo, and that's the guy from book 1. So book 1 and book 2 are the same couple. That's his organization name, and you'll see why and all the things in book 2 and stuff like that. But it's just so interesting. I really love the story, and I love the characters, and I love the romance, and the smut is great. It's all of the above, and I just really enjoyed it. I gave Owo a 4.5 to a 5-star as well. I don't know which one I lean on, but I was interested the entire time. I really, really enjoyed them. I would recommend. And these were both by Dandridge Monroe. Next, I read Carried Away, again, for Southern Hearts, and I gave it 3 stars. This one is by Natisha Raynor, I believe. And I gave it 3 stars. It was good, it was okay, but I feel like I've read this type of story before. But let's talk about Miss Aubrey Penn, who I also read for Southern Hearts. This is the last one I read for Southern Hearts. And she had a date with the mayor. And I feel like I literally read this for Southern Hearts and Silent Kisses. Like, I feel like I read this for this video. And I believe it was a Kay Shanae book. It felt the exact same. And I'm not saying that she plagiarized. I'm just saying that I'm reading so much for this challenge that I put on myself that they're starting to blend together. And obviously, because a lot of these authors I haven't read from, I don't know which ones are the best or which ones to choose. So it's just like luck of the draw type thing. But this feels just like Desire, I believe, by Kay Shanae, which I read episode 1 of the series. So I was like, okay. So I gave this one also a 3-star. Hello, Bubba. Bubba, hello. Is the door too heavy for you? Perfect. My dog is trying. It's the door's cracked. I left it cracked for him, but I don't think I left it a big enough crack. So he's like, "How dare you not open this door wider?" Next, I read And Then There Was Passion, and I gave this book 4 stars. Now, I have a vlog on my channel for And Then Life Was Beautiful, which I gave 5 stars. I annotated to heck. What's crazy is I read this by eye. Oh, you finally made it. Hello. I read this by eye, and then like physically just by eye. And then a day or two later, the author released the free audiobook for this on her YouTube channel, which is how I read book 1. And that kind of pissed me off because I've been like putting this off to reading it until she uploaded one, and then she just uploaded it. Oh my gosh. But the reason this is getting a 4 out of 5 is because the story is amazing. It's perfect. It's great. Hey everyone. So I lost the footage for the rest of this clip and the next and last 3 books that I had on the list. So I'm just going to talk about it right here and right now. So basically what I was talking about with And Then There Was Passion was the book itself, the characters, the plot, everything was 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, amazing. The reason it's not a 5 star and it's a 4 star is because there were so many editing mistakes in this book that it brought me out of the story so many different times, and at that point I was just over it. I think it would have been better if I had the audiobook, obviously. Honestly, I wonder if the audio would have the mistakes that the book had in general, but some of them were so big and so grievous, like him saying to her, like, it was a sex scene and he was saying, "I'm gonna put my whatever in your whatever," right? But it was, the whole sentence was wrong, and he said that he was going to put himself in himself, and I was just like, stuff like that. And I have read over 10 books by this author, and this has never happened to me before. This book was just something else. I just didn't know what else to say, so I was just like, oh, okay. So 4 stars. The next book I read was just another meet cute. This is an arc from Scholastic. It is a YA romance, and it was very cute. Basically, a girl meets a guy on a hike, tries to look for him, accidentally finds his twin brother, and then things ensue from there. It was a really good story. It was an arc. It comes out in May, I believe, and I gave it a 4 star. I just wish they delved deeper in the father character and that the book was a little bit shorter, but I love the mundane parts in between all the plot about family. I love this book because the YA people felt like YA. Their families weren't toxic or bad. I just very enjoyed the dynamics of the family, of the characters. They felt like YA people. Like, they cursed, they were sarcastic, they had thoughts of their own, everything. I really, really enjoyed that. Next, I read Shiver, which is because I accidentally bought book 4 from Goodwill for like 99 cents. Thought it was like book 2, maybe book 3, but not book 4. So I'm getting books 1 through 3 from the library right now. So I read book 1 and I gave it a 3.5 stars. I love Werewolf Anything, so you're probably going to get a 3 regardless, but I really enjoyed it. It did feel like 2009, which is not the book's fault. It was literally written in 2009. I am reading this in 2025. There's gonna be some, like, not cringy, because I don't think it was cringy. I just think it was of its time. But I really enjoyed it. I will continue with the series from the library and then one day get to that 4th book that's on my bookshelf. And lastly, I read The Drowned Woods, and it was really good. It was basically about magic and fae, and it took a very big swing on it, and I really enjoyed it. It basically follows a character who is a water mage. There's not that many left in the world. The kings and the kingdoms they take them when they're children, use them to become more powerful, to trump other kingdoms, all the things. She runs away from her king and is found again and is asked to help destroy the king after he made her do something very horrible to innocent people. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I have another book that was a special edition that was good and I get to keep, because the Fairy Loops, the Illuma Crates, the special editions have not been hitting. I gave this like a 3.5 to a 4 star. So yeah, hope you guys, aren't too upset about this. I don't know what happened to my footage, but all right, everyone, that was the last book for this April wrap up. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you added some things to your TBR. I hope you start reading things from your TBR that I have read this month. And I hope you have a great reading day. And I will see you again next week for another video. Bye.